just graduated by... Well, no, he had to graduate.
That he was able to make it. And we do have an awful lot of questions from you that you put on cards. I would like to introduce right now the moderator of this event. And I have put out that we were going to try for quiet. I don't know that we're going to get it. So you're going to have to put your hearing listening ears on. I would like to introduce to you Dr. Bob DeYoung. He's a Pennsylvania resident, an author, and an individual who's moderated several high-profile debates in both New York and Pennsylvania. He was a licensed forensic psychologist for 16 years, as well as a motorcycle cop in New York. Most of all, Dr. Bob is a patriot who believes that open debate must never be stifled in this great land. When we issued that original invitation for debate between Mr. Cuomo and Mr. Palladino, we sought out Bob because he is a Pennsylvania resident, and we thought we picked what was a neutral setting. We are so happy to have you here in our parking lot at our grassroots headquarters, and I'm going to hand off to Dr. Bob, and we're going to spend some time with you, Carl.
All right, yeah. Well, this originally started out as a debate forum, but it changed into just a forum. So let me just mention a few things. First of all, I'd like to thank Cheryl and the 912 people for the wonderful work they've done. Let's give them a hand. It's amazing. It's quite impressive that this many people showed up, given the maze of directions that they had to go through to get here, and finally settle in on this venue. I want to mention that I have moderated a few fairly high-profile debates, and toward the end of the debate, people have come up to me and said, Dr. DeYoung, what do you believe? And I said, well, if you have to ask me, then I did my job. So I try to be as neutral as possible, and I am, as Cheryl mentioned, a Pennsylvania resident. So I cannot vote in New York, although I'd love to. And I think that because this is a public forum, it's open to both liberal and conservative questions. What I did, and some of the questions could still be coming in, would be that the red cards that you can get at the white table back there represent the more conservative point of view, if you identify more as a conservative, and the blue cards would represent more of a liberal point of view. So that way I can alternate which cards to pick, and I would ask, again, if you haven't heard this already, that you would refrain from any profanity, although I love political enthusiasm, and that you would also put your name on the card. So anonymity doesn't work very well in this setting. Let me mention a few things here. I'd like to quote Hubert Humphrey, who, as you know, was a Democrat. And Hubert Humphrey said, freedom is hammered out on the anvil of discussion, dissent, and debate. So when we stop this process, when we're no longer allowed to debate and to discuss and in a good way argue the tough terms, we stop becoming an American. So just so you know that. Thomas Jefferson said, every government degenerates when trusted to the rulers of the people alone. The people themselves are its only safe depositories. And that being said, I'd like to say what the format is. Again, I'm going to pick cards. I already have a whole bunch of them. Some might come up to me later on. I'll screen them for Mr. Palladino. And again, if they're redundant, I will not, repeat the same question. Also, if they're nonsensical, and again, by me nonsensical, if they just don't make sense. But I am certainly as objective as you can be. And I will let you decide whether you want to answer or not, but I will give them to you. I do like to get a little bio for each person, and because Mr. Palladino is the only person here today, I was going to get a little bio together. He's a native of Buffalo, New York. He's a graduate of St. Bonaventure and Syracuse University College of Law. And after serving as an officer in the U.S. Army, Mr. Palladino practiced law in New York courts for 15 years. Mr. Palladino takes pride in not being a career politician. Instead, across 40 years in private business, employing hundreds of New York workers, his self-made company currently controls $500 million in assets. I always said, well, if it doesn't work at home, isn't going to work in the government, so a good businessman makes a good person to be leading us, I suppose. It's interesting to note that Mr. Palladino has spent about $10 million of his own money. My dad always said, if you want to know where a man's heart is, look at his pocketbook. So, well done. And it's refreshing to finally have a gubernatorial candidate, like the win here, who's not a political insider. I really like that a lot, because obviously it's the people I've dealt with. That being said, I'm gonna let this stuff just fly, because it's gonna go off the table anyway, and I don't need it anymore. So I'll pick it up later. All right. I'll start off with a liberal bent question, a blue card, if you would, and let me look through it first, because I'm the one that's got to read through them. All right. Mr. Palladino, as a candidate for the highest elected office in the state of New York, do you think it's appropriate to say to a reporter on national TV, I will take you out? And also, is it appropriate to use profanity, which you have? That was the question. Can everybody hear me now? Can you hear me in the back? Okay.
Let me just start with, I'm Carl Palladino. I'm from Buffalo, New York. Those that haven't heard me before, I'm a... I graduated from St. Bonaventure. I went to Syracuse University College of Law. Graduated from there. I served in the United States Army for about 11 years. Active in reserve, and I have 4 children, 4 grandchildren, 1 wife, and a dog named Duke.
We love Duke.
Duke is sort of a casualty of the campaign. We had to leave him home today. We can't get his head into the truck anymore. We had his picture in the New York Times twice in the past couple of weeks. And now he's got his own line of clothing out for dogs, and he's also he was reading movie scripts last weekend. He thinks he's going to Hollywood. Our campaign has moved beyond the Fred Dicker and Andrew Cuomo gutter politic. He came out a couple of weeks ago. They sent their surrogates out. We've moved beyond that. I have no comment on Mr. Dicker.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right. Next question. Again, as you know, on this, if there's no profanity,
I will say this, though. I've been saying since the beginning of the campaign that I will take out this absolutely off the reservation government that we have in Albany today. I will take out the bad guys with them, and I will take out the trash. So if you want to know what I mean by take out, that's what I'm talking about.
Thank you, sir. Next question. What is your position on hydrofracking?
From everything I've gathered, the issue has been danced around, it's been run around, it's been addressed and readdressed and readdressed. The EPA signed off, the DEC signed off. The states of Pennsylvania and Ohio have been doing it for years, and we're missing the boat. There's one last study apparently being conducted. I don't know necessarily why it's taking so long to complete the report from the DEC on the New York City watershed. But if the watershed is the consideration right now, there's no reason that they can't start the hydrofracking in the areas to the west of Binghamton. It's very important to the New York State economy. We're talking about $50,000 a year jobs and up to 25,000 of those jobs. And it seems to me that unless someone can establish beyond a reasonable risk that hydrofracking can't be done in the state of New York, well, we should proceed, at least west of Binghamton.
Thank you, sir. Next question. Many Americans, Republicans, Democrat, or Independent, are angry. Anger is not, however, a plan. We hope it might produce plans that lead to a better future for our children and grandchildren. What specifically, underline, would you do as Governor of New York to improve the education available to children K through 12 across New York?
Well, first about anger. My opponent wants to describe my demeanor as angry. I better describe it as a reflection of the frustration of the people of the state of New York. A number of years ago, my wife illustrated to me when she was serving in some capacities at St. Martin's School in Buffalo. She really brought to my eyes the lack of attention that we have for our small children in our schools. She brought to my attention the despicable conduct of our inner city school districts throughout the state. The shame of allowing year after year after year dysfunctional school systems to continue to take in and bring in 6-year-old or 5-year-old children and submit them to the same abusive, dysfunctional school systems that their parents are victims of. It's a terrible situation, and we must finally do something about it. The only way to do that is to really go and change the culture. A culture has been established in Albany where the New York State United Teachers are more important than the children. The New York State United Teachers, and I'm not speaking about individual teachers, because I think I'm proud of them, and I also have a great sensitivity to them. They felt a calling. They want to teach. But unfortunately, the system doesn't allow them to. The system defeats it. Their union leaders, in concert with this government that we have in Albany that wants to look the other way, are misleading it.